There we go. Okay. What's going on? What's going on, guys? So, today is rest day number 2. A little bit more active recovery rest day today. Yesterday I just did some stretching. Nothing crazy. And I figured I'd just kind of make this quick cardio vlog slash cardio talks slash rest day talk. And main talking point I want to make in this video, and I was just thinking about it, was kind of how strength is relative in bodybuilding. And don't get me wrong, strength is important. We've certainly heard Dorian Yates say a bigger muscle is a stronger muscle, and a stronger muscle is a bigger muscle. And usually you'll gain strength before you see the muscle adaptation to said strength, right? And I was just thinking how it's kind of relative, and it is still important. Just to clarify, so you guys don't think I don't think strength is not important. It's important, but to a certain extent, right? I can certainly remember being in gym and only being able to incline press, dumbbell incline press 45s, and now I'm at like 90s, 100-pound dumbbells. So certainly my chest has grown. So, but it took a while for me to get there. It took me at least, I didn't hit the 80s till maybe a year and a half ago, or so. And keep in mind a couple of prep shows and everything in between. So you lose strength and I gotta gain it back, and so, and I got 25 minutes by the way on this, so I probably won't take up all the time, but I don't know, I just think you see a lot of strong people in the gym, but they're not very big. Now obviously there's some things like with form and intensity and momentum. So, but I really feel like you can still get really strong bodybuilding. It's just going to take you a little bit longer, and I'm not against power building or whatever it's called now, where you're like, you do a little bit of bodybuilding, trying to get some of that physique, but you're pretty strong, maybe you can bench press 315. I've never been able to press 315, at least not yet. I think my bench PR is like 225 for a double, so it's because I don't train it. I don't need to. I built my chest. Ah, shit. Freaking camera battery died. But as I was saying, I've never been able to bench press 315, blah, blah, blah. It's because I don't need a press to build, or I don't need to bench press to build my chest. And frankly, for me, bench press never felt great. And so, don't get me wrong, I might get back into it one day. It's tempting. So, like I said, to a certain extent, strength matters, because you need to build that up. It's also a great indicator of growth as far as progressing through a training phase, or whatever split you're on. So you need to keep track of that. Like I'm like, okay, I did 4 plates per side last week on leg press, as an example. I did 4 plates per side on leg press last week. Now I'm doing 4 plates and a half with the same form and the same intensity, but now I added a plate, so 4.5 plates. I'm getting stronger. The muscle must be grown, potentially. So strength is important, but it's relative. Just because you're benching 315 don't mean you got a big chest. So, and vice versa. Just because I bench 135 doesn't mean I have a small chest. So, because I also feel like mind-muscle connection is, I feel like when you get more advanced, the longer you lift, it's pretty important. When you're starting off, shoot, just picking up a 10-pound dumbbell, you'll grow some arms. So, and there you go again, like the strength is relative there. You know, 10-pound dumbbell may not produce any strength or produce any growth for me now. But, well, I don't know how I was going with that last point. But, anyways, that was just my main talking point in this video that I wanted to go over. How, you know, there's a lot of people are stronger than me, you know, at the big 3 lifts, or, you know, very specific movements. On certain back movements, they may be stronger. They don't have the back development that I do. And they don't have necessarily, I'm like 4 plates on the row machine, but you're not that big. Like, I got bigger arms than you. Not trying to compare physique for physique, but I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Or I got a wider back than you, but that. So, just because somebody, I guess, I don't know. This is just gonna be a hot topic video, but I don't really care. But that was my point. Strength is relative in bodybuilding. Still important, undoubtedly. But if you're getting into bodybuilding, don't worry about your strength. Just worry about it for yourself as a progression tool, and eventually, you know, you'll get stronger over the course of a year or 2 years. So don't get discouraged if your friends are incline dumbbell pressing 70s and they've only been lifting for a year and you're barely getting the 60s up after 2 years. So, because chances are their form's probably not even that good, and they're probably just taxing the joint more than the muscle. So, and anyways, yesterday I did kind of a little bit of both upper and lower body stretching. Today, probably just gonna do the same thing. Hamstrings were super tight from my leg day on Saturday. So I just needed to relieve that inflammation and tightness sooner rather than later. I'll probably still have to do a little bit of work on hamstrings, do a combination of both stretch and pressure release. So same thing with quads, do some quads, maybe a little bit of calves, hips, maybe just a little bit. As far as upper body, back still a little bit sore from Sunday training back, but I'll probably just stretch lats and that's about it. And then stretch chest, shoulders, maybe a little bit of arms. Arms for me, I need to look up some stuff for triceps because I think my triceps are getting tight. Forearms feel pretty good. It is possible to do too much stretching in recovery, believe it or not. So you don't want to overdo it either, because stretching and pressure release do cause some slight inflammation, maybe for the next 24 hours or so. But generally it'll help you. And even sometimes, like recently, like before even leg days, I'll do a little bit of foam rolling. And traditionally in the past I didn't like that, but an hour or two before leg day I'll foam roll quads a little bit, relatively light, like 5-10 minutes, not even 10 minutes, 5 minutes, foam rolling quads, and then I'll do my dynamic warm-up for hips, and leg days have been really good, feeling warm, feeling fresh, because I think just for me at my job, just standing up all day tightens my legs just a little bit, so quickly loosen them up, then do the dynamic. It's been pretty beneficial. So, but that's definitely one goal for me this year, is growing my legs more. When I get into prep mode and when I'm on stage, my legs don't look too bad. But I want them to look great when I'm on stage. And I just want, like, even in the off season and growth phase, for my legs to look great and not. Basically, I want to be able to fill out my pants anytime I'm walking in the gym, because sometimes I don't feel so self-conscious, but I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm like, yeah, my legs aren't really filling out these shorts, so maybe I need to get them a little bit bigger. You know, calves can always get bigger too, but I was looking at stage shots for my calves and just need to keep steady pace with them. I don't need to hyper focus on calves, but definitely posterior chain specifically, I want to make sure I bring up hamstrings a lot and just overall leg growth. Then upper body, just keep doing what I'm doing. One thing for sure though, my shoulders, when I'm not hitting a side shot or a most muscular pose, my shoulders could definitely, just like standing still, my shoulders could come up a little bit. So, but overall it's just, once I bring up most of my sluggish / slower developing body parts, I don't think I have too many weaknesses, which is nice. I just need to add overall size. 20 to 30 pounds would be really nice this year, but that's dreaming. So 10 pounds I'll still be happy with 10 pounds and move up a weight class for the competitive season next year. Or if I do start a prep, it'll be closer to the end of the year. So those are just kind of trying to keep that goal in mind. It's very easy to lose track of that goal in a growth phase. You know, maybe you slack off on the diet for a week or two. It's hard, it really is hard visualizing and thinking about that next show when it's 12 months away. It's like 12 months, geez, that's so long. But 12 months blows by, you know. And for half of those months you're, you know, maybe 60-70% on the diet and kind of just going through the motions. And you're like, ah, shoot, 6 months out, I got a show. Well, if you weren't slacking off for the last 6 months, you'd probably be already ready to go for, you could probably spend those 2 of those 6 months before the show, you know, resting a little bit and reducing inflammation and getting your mind prepared for those 4 months of prep, which you've already been prepared for because you've been doing the things that you would do in a prep in your growth phase. You know, the only difference really between growth phase and prepping for a show is that you're eating quite a bit more food and a little bit less cardio. You know, you can try and stay in that prep mentality through a growth phase. The results, and I'm just starting to see them now, because I really feel like I only had one good growth phase, and that was my second. After my first show, going into my second show was my really good growth phase. And still staying locked in on everything. So, but like I said, if you can stick to that prep mentality, yes, you can still go out, you know, one time a week. Maybe if you can time manage a couple times a week. It's tough though. So, and for me, I'm just exhausted by the end of the day. So I'm like, it's either the gym or we hitting the hay. So. Anyways, though, enough gibberish and talking and yapping. Let me finish the rest of this cardio up and get ready for tomorrow's chest day. Probably film some clips for you all, and it should be a fun one. So, see you all in the next video.